Welcome back to Stickboy's Lab. I'm Stickboy. We've got Brian running the camera, playing music, and doing lots of odds and ends around here. We're glad you joined us today. Today's episode, we're going to be building a skid plate for the WPL C24 Hilux. This guy. So stay tuned. It'll be fun. So here I've pulled off the transmission skid plate and mount. It's, I believe it can use a little modification. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a little putty, put it inside of here, squish the transmission down in it, and see just how much clearance we have inside. And if there's a bunch of clearance, then I'm probably going to carve the bottom out of this thing and make a new skid plate for it. That's the plan. That's what we're going to do. So here we have the skid plate. I'm going to pull the transmission over here. There we go. I've got a little chunk of modeling clay here. I'm going to roll this up into a little snake and chuck it down there in the bottom. And then I'm going to take the transmission, set it in place, and give it a squish. We'll pull that back out. And we'll fish out our modeling clay. And we've got a little bit of squish there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this over to the Dremel station probably. And I'm going to carve out from maybe, this area here over to about the same place on the opposite side. So here we are over at the Dremel station, ready to cut this out. So here we are back again. I've got that belly trimmed out and I'm going to stuff this back in here. You can see that there's a lot of stuff going on here that we really don't need anymore. So I'm going to start roughing it out here with my nipper nip.
And we'll just go nippity, nip, nip, nip. And the same over here.
Okay, so we got a little extra ground clearance there. Pop that back out and grab our trusty file. Clean this up a bit. And I'm also going to take it to the bottom of this lug right here, just a little bit. And if you think this might weaken it, the answer is, well, yes. Yes, it will. So I think what I'll do here is I will form a little piece of aluminum to come up over here and perhaps angle down this way. So what I think I'll do is I need to find a little piece of sheet aluminum probably and form it to fit up over here. So I took my trusty tin snips and cut this corner out of this aluminum electric skillet lid. We're going to do a little more carving on this to get it into shape. I think I'm going to start by cutting this off of here. I think we're not going to need quite that much of it. We're going to trim a little off of here. What I'll do is I'll flip this over like so, and I'll mark where this transfer case gearbox, whatever you want to call it, sits. Sits about right there. So what I have here is I have a rubber pad. It's about 1/2 inch thick, fairly soft. I've got my Harbor Freight mini hammer. I have a punch. That's probably, let's say that's a 1/4 inch on the corner. And I'm going to come in here and just see if I can start sinking this down a little bit. I'm going to start on these corners. Just start stretching that a little bit. If you look on the outside, it's starting to look a little rough and lumpy, and also sinking down just a little bit. Bending these corners over just a little bit at a time. Okay, that's coming along okay. I kind of like this side. That's sitting pretty good. This side not as good. I think though I will extend this out just a little bit. Well, that's sort of roughed out okay, I think.
I think I will trim this corner up like such, maybe. And like such, maybe. And maybe carve a little notch back.
Here we are, working on this skid plate for the WPL C24. I think I just about have everything fitted. It took a lot more work to get things fitted like I like them. I'll have Brian zoom in on this and get a closer look at what I've got going. And I think I'm just going to glue this thing on. So if you take a look here, you can see I've shaped this. I've had to cut out a little around the drive shaft. I'm going to stick a little glue right up along these edges. That's all I'm going to do. Hopefully it stays on. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to drill a couple holes in the bottom here for drainage holes. So this is just, must be about an 1/8 inch bit. I'm going to drill a hole about right there. See if I can drill a hole through my fingernail. And I think that's all I'm going to do with that. So I have my trusty E6000 here again. I'm going to put just a little bit right here. I'm going to try to keep it off the transfer case as much as possible and just keep it on the original black skid. Put a little bit right there. And we'll put a little bit right here. Get this lined up. Put it in place. I'm going to hold it there for just a couple of seconds. And then I'm going to pull it back off. Pull it back off. Let that flash off for a couple minutes and we'll stick it back together. So we're back. I've let this flash off for a little bit. I need to be a little more careful this time because it will probably grab a little bit quicker. That should work. So, as you can see, the paint came off somewhere in this process. I took it outside and burned the paint off with the propane torch. Came off really nice. I'm really super impressed with the formability of that old electric skillet lid, to the point where I'm thinking back on the few that I've chucked over the years and thinking I should have held on to a few more of those. They really form up nice. If you've got an old electric skillet laying around that you're not using anymore, grab that lid and see how formable it is. If not, you might be able to find them at garage sales or thrift stores or whatever. It really is nice stuff to work with. You could probably build other body panels out of it as well. So here's what we're looking at for its final. It kind of looks a little lumpy there. I should have maybe taken a little more time to smooth that out. Oh hey, welcome back. So we finished up here on the skid plate on the WPL C24. So here's what it looks like. So there we have it. It looks like that. I'll probably put a little black paint on there to make it disappear a little bit better. But that's the project. It's done, and we'll get on with something else. So thanks for watching. It's been fun. We learned a few things, and hope you'll join us again soon. Till next time, play nice.